Thank you guys for those that are joining us here via on Zoom as well as on Facebook. So thank you very much. If you guys have any comments or questions, please make sure that you reach out and post them in here in the chat on Zoom. Put them into the chat box. We'll take a look at those, and then I will also have on Facebook. I got live chat as well. So a couple things we're going to go over. It's going to be short and sweet, about 20, 25 minutes tops, and then do a little Q&A. One of the things that I like to do when we do my Facebook Live is to is to be able to understand what we got going on. The fourth quarter, all right? The fourth quarter is a huge mindset because in the fourth quarter, what takes place is people are usually winding down. I've seen so many things on Facebook recently that have said, oh, I reached my goals. I've done this. I've done that. Okay. And when that takes place, inside your brain tells you, I met my goals. I don't really, it's like after you get to the finish line, do you keep running or do you stop? All right. So for those, that's why they always say like have a big goal and have like a reasonable goal. But the big goal is to force you to do things in the fourth quarter that typically you would be like, well, I've already reached my goals. I've already done my 53 homes or 16 homes or whatever it is. So the big monstrosity goal is to make you think a little bit more outside the box. So that way you can continue to go on. As well as what happens during the holidays, it's Thanksgiving. The attorney's offices are closed more. There's not as many, there's a lot of people traveling. I've worked really hard this year. I've done really good. I don't need to really work as hard in the fourth quarter. I don't have to work as hard during Thanksgiving and Christmas. Most people take 2 to 3 weeks off during the holidays. There's nobody selling anything. There's decorating. And that's why we're going to talk about the holiday handlers here very shortly to be able to overcome those objections. But the biggest thing is the mindset. You should want to push forward as much as you possibly can, harder than any other quarter. Why? Is because most people are not doing it. And secondly, it's going to help catapult your business going into the second or into the first quarter. So towards November, December, I want you to think first quarter. And right now, I want you to think that most people are slowing down. It's time for me to gear up. I was very fortunate yesterday. I was literally hammering the phones pretty heavily. We're going to talk about now business versus quarter one business. And I was able, between either side of my transaction, I ended up putting together 11 appointments. And it's because I'm working on my now business. Now, those 11 appointments, already 3 of them have pushed me out of this week. Okay. I know that because I'm building my pipeline for November, December, so I can stay in touch with them. So that way, when November, December, even they're going to be like, well, it's the holidays now. I'll try to overcome those objections, but I also know that that's not going to make sense. So I'm also building my business for the first quarter, as I stated. So you have to stay mindful of staying front of mind with them. So let's talk about the fourth quarter. First and foremost, we have rest of October, November, December. So what is your goal for the next 3 months? Let's not look at the entire year now. Let's look at what the next 3 months bring. So what is your goal to do? How many deals do you want to do in the next 3 months? Okay. For me right now, my goal is 25 transactions. Okay. So that's my personal goal, not our team goal. That's my personal goal, 25 transactions. So I'm always heavy listing based. So my goal is 20 listings, 5 buyers. What is yours? Okay. So write that down. If you're taking notes, write down what your goal is because you need to be able to have some visual to see what you're going to do. All right. Next, how are you going to get to that? So what I always do is I wrote down on here on my notes, because I always like to show everybody that my notes here is my now business versus quarter one. Okay. So write down now business versus quarter one. My now business for me is I have to make 25 contacts for sale by owner only. Can't say that's a tongue twister. So 25 contacts for sale by owner only. Okay, it does not include expireds. I still have to make my expired calls, but I'm really zoning in on for sale by owners. Why is that important in now business? One is because I know they want to sell. Okay, they have a for sale sign up there. They've put it on Zillow. They've marketed it, so it only makes sense that they are now business. Okay, if you're really good at expireds and you like expireds, you certainly can. Challenge right now, I see a little bit with expireds is they got a bad taste in their mouth. They're a little bit hard to overcome. It doesn't mean you can't overcome them, but for me right now, for sale by owners seem to be a better thing because the market is slowing down. The days on the market are increasing, and I'm putting into their brains that it's a challenge. Okay, how do you handle multiple offers? What type of marketing are you doing? Are you nervous about the holidays? What are you going to do between Christmas and Thanksgiving? Are you going to decorate? I'm adding all these things into them, making them be like, well, if I could make this easier for you and still make you the same dollar amount, would that interest you? Okay, so excuse me. So keep that in mind in reference to now business versus quarter one business. Some more now business, door knocking. I know everybody doesn't like to door knock. I really don't even like to door knock, to be honest with you. But my coach has me door knocking. Okay. My goal is 100 homes a week is what I have to door knock. So what does that look like? One is I try to find homes that are closer together. Two, I find homes in subdivisions that have a little inventory. So it's easier for me to say there are no other homes for sale in the subdivision. You put your house for sale. You don't have any competition. Secondly, if I had a buyer and I was taking them and I lost out in an offer on a home in a subdivision, what I'm doing is I'm taking the piece of paper, the first page, I'm whiting out their name, and I'm sharing with them page one of the offer to purchase. And I'm saying to them, hey, this just happened with a house that's right here in your subdivision. Here, you could take a look at it. Here's our offer. I'm trying to find my buyer another home in this subdivision. Do you or anyone else you know that lives around here interested in selling? Now business for you. I also add at the very end, looking to sell in the next 30 days. Okay. Why I go back to the holiday handlers is because you are going to hear that when they make that conversation. So that's why we're going to forecast that and why we have that on the back end of our conversation. So the now business is dealing with for sale by owners, expireds, and door knocking. Those are my three main components of now business. Well, Brock, I like to use my database. And that's fine. You want to go into your database, but your database is not going to generate you any business right this instantaneous unless you've already been working on them for the last 7 months. Okay. So when people say, well, my database is going to give me business, and that's 100% correct, they will give you business. But if you start today on trying to go into saying, all right, I want now business, the base, your sphere of influence is not going to generate you now business instantaneously. You've had to work on that for the last seven months. But here's what you can do for your now business, because this is the best time for people to reach out. And I'm going to share with you some of the strategies that we use in the timetable. So the first thing about building your quarter one business is we do pumpkin carving contests. Okay. So we went to a local grocery store and we say, would you be willing to donate pumpkins to our families that we have served in the real estate business? Would you be willing to donate pumpkins? Okay. We've gotten close to 100 pumpkins donated to us, and we take each of the pumpkins, we add a little, go to Canva, we add a little tag to it, and we say to a date, could you please carve this pumpkin, post it on our Facebook page, and we will go live and we will give out pumpkin carving awards. Okay. The scariest, the happiest, whatever it is that we decided to do. But we do pumpkin carving contest, and we get the pumpkins from local area grocery stores to be able to put out there. All right. So that's something that we do with Thanksgiving pies. I mean, with the pumpkins. Next is the Thanksgiving pies. So we go to Sam's Club or Costco. We start to do our order probably in the next 3 weeks. We will call ahead. And last year, I don't even know how much money we spent. It was definitely over $2,000 that we spent in wonderful Thanksgiving and apple pies. What does that touch look like? That touch looks like basically that we call our clients towards the end of October. We wish them a happy Halloween. And then we say to them, we want to thank you for everything you've done and helped us with in our business. Would you like an apple pie or a pumpkin pie? So it allows us an extra touch through our sphere of influence, building our database for the first quarter. They're going to tell us apple or pumpkin. That sounds great. I look forward to being with you. And make sure you deliver the pies before Thanksgiving. Okay. Not Friday, not the Saturday. You got to do it before Thanksgiving. Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving are the best because they will take the pie and they will bring to every party, every gathering they're going to. And that will allow them to be like, oh my gosh, where'd you get this pie? Okay. Well, my real estate agent gave me a pie. Well, your real estate agent gave you a pie. My real estate agent didn't give me a pie. And you become a topic of conversation with their family. Okay. Oh, yeah. They called us a couple of weeks ago and I told apple or pumpkin. I told pumpkin. Okay. You become a conversation piece. So then you have the pumpkin pies or the pumpkin in October. You have a Thanksgiving call asking for apple or pumpkin. Then you deliver the pumpkin, you deliver the pie for around Thanksgiving. Now, December. When you're building your fourth quarter, what you want to do is here's the key ingredient. It's either you do one or the other. Don't do it in the middle. A lot of people do their Christmas cards and they give them that second week or third week of December. What happens is you just become another Christmas card that comes in their mailbox that they put on the refrigerator as soon as possible and they get mixed in with everything. So you have a choice. You can either do a Christmas card around Thanksgiving. It has to be like right after Thanksgiving because you want to be the first one to be delivered to them. If you don't have the Christmas card by Thanksgiving, no worries. Don't think you missed out on an opportunity. You then are going to not give them a Christmas card. You're going to give them a New Year's, Happy New Year's card. That way, all the cards have been pushed through. They've cleaned them out that last week of Christmas. And all of a sudden, now you're going to be one of the only ones that gives a New Year's card. So you want to make sure that you give them a New Year's card. So rule of thumb, if you don't do a Thanksgiving card / Christmas card around Thanksgiving, you got to go to New Year's. Don't try to blend into the mix unless you do something drastic like a magazine or something that people give out different gifts at the time period. But focus literally on either New Year's card or your Christmas card has to be around Christmas. Also for Christmas pictures, try to do something with your family. My best return is when they see my kids. So make sure you put that into it. If you got animals, pets, make sure you're doing something silly and cute. It's warm and fuzzy when you do it that way. So look at that as your New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving pies, and pumpkin carving contest, and making sure you filter it and do it through Facebook Live to say, hey, if you want to see who won, send your picture to our Facebook page and then go Facebook Live and do the drawing right there. So then that way they're all on your Facebook and you can get you get more publicity that way. All right. Anybody have any questions about the fourth quarter or what that looks like for some of the things that we do to set you up for the first quarter of your business? Some of the other things that we do around the holidays is if you do an event, if you do a Christmas event, start preparing for those. We've already got our dates locked in. If you don't have a date, work on a Tuesday or Thursday. It's the best time. It's also the cheapest time. You can have better cost on rent for places if you do it on a Tuesday or Thursday compared to trying to do it on the typical Saturday. Most Saturdays right now are all done up and they're hard to get. Another avenue that we're doing, depending on what area you're in, is new construction. New construction is something that we've been working on. It's not so much now business. It's more for quarter one business. The now business, unfortunately, like I shared with you guys earlier, there's not too many different things you can do besides FSBOs and expireds and door knocking. That's instantaneously now business. Like I said, the database is if you're starting today, it's just not going to generate you anything in the next week, not to the magnitude if you're trying to hit your goals of in the next your next 3 months that you want to do 10 plus listings. But new construction is an opportunity. Make sure you only choose new construction where you drive, go to the grocery store, go to school. Don't try to drive someplace on the outskirts because you just won't go there enough. With new construction, you need to go there once a week. You need to touch base with them. You need to meet the model home people, ask them for their inventory sheets. Ask them what you can do to help them. What are their biggest challenges that they're seeing out there? We know lack of inventory is one. More importantly, it's the education behind what these buyers are doing out there. They just don't know. They don't understand contingencies. But ask the model home, what can I do to help you out? Do you have an inventory sheet? I'd love to be able to see what I can do to generate more business to you, but more importantly, how I can help you. And they'll tell you whatever the problems they're facing. So that's part of the new construction. That being said, I'm going to shift over here for the next 10 minutes on the holiday handlers. If you are interested in the holiday handlers, all you got to do is put your email in the chat and I will get them to you. We've been doing the holiday handlers now for about 3.5, 4 years. I'm going to go through the holiday handlers. There are 14 of them. And I'm going to share with you how we overcome the objections of it's just too close to the holidays and I just don't feel like right now is a good time to list. I don't want to list my house around Thanksgiving. I don't want to list my house around Christmas, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Just normal objections. We go through them once a year. We start pretty much close to the end of this month because we know 30 to 60 days from now when most closing are happening, it is around Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we need to be prepared for that. So thinking of waiting until spring. Okay, that's another one here. I don't want to sell during the holidays. I'm just going to wait till springtime. COVID has really changed that mindset a little bit, but it's still the stereotype of real estate is I'm going to wait till spring. So the first one that I put on here is only serious buyers will brave the cold weather. All right. And they will forego any type of preparations. They're not thinking, well, I got to get more gifts. I got to decorate my house. They're not thinking that. They are these buyers that are coming between November and December are really, really serious. And we still have a lack of inventory. So we know that competition is still going to be there. As well as goes into number 2 is there is less competition. So if we thought we had a lack of inventory in July and in August and May, we're going to even have more of a lack of inventory because sellers aren't going to be wanting to put their house on the market because of the holidays and they want to decorate and their kids and nobody wants to move. So just keep that in mind is there is really less competition, which actually increases the chances to selling your home and even getting more multiple offers because there are probably going to be at least 10 to 15% less homes on the market in November and December. One of the questions I always get asked during my listing presentation during this time period is, should I decorate my home? I think if it's all in good taste, don't pull out every single thing every decoration that you have, but if you make it tasteful, actually decorating your home makes it more homey, makes it more feel warm and fuzzy. And also when people come into your property, into your home, they feel that warm sensation. Use vanilla cookie smells. Stay with neutral smells. Stay away from the acidic smells. But stay with those nice warm sugar cookie type of smells and put that in there because it's a really good warm and fuzzy. So if they want to decorate, I say yes, as long as it's tasteful. Don't go above and beyond. Just try to keep it very neutral as possible. The other good thing is with what's going on with the mortgage, banks and industries are still they have a lot of money. So more mortgages are willing to be able to give more money because there's not as many buyers. So they're also great rates right now. So there's still a really good opportunity for those buyers to be able to take advantage of the spending power with the low interest rates, as well as there's not as many there are more mortgage people that are still working. If you're a mortgage company, just like a real estate agent, you're still working and still trying to do loans, and there's not as many of them. So you have an opportunity to be able to get faster returns and faster appraisals right now. Number 6, buyers use the holiday vacation to house hunt. Okay. Mooresville in our area here started school much earlier than Charlotte-Mecklenburg. So you should know the winter breaks, which means that winter breaks are going to be roughly about 3 weeks this year compared to normal school years. So keep track of that and knowing when winter breaks are because people will move and they'll set up their closings around that 2-week time period. So if you have kids or if you don't have kids, take a look at the school district and where you're at and see when they're having Christmas break. So when people say, well, now it's not a good time. Well, to be honest with you, I do know that attorneys are open the week before Christmas and you have 2 weeks off. So it's a really good time to help you move. And I have a moving company that could help you out and let's just schedule it now. Okay. overcoming those objections and using the vacation time during school and knowing what that is. It's also a little bit easier to prepare your home during the winter months. Why? Is because you don't have as much landscape. All right. There's not as many weeds. You're not having to mow your yard every 3 days, 4 days between the nice warm weather and the rain. So it's a little bit easier to maintain a yard. You mow your yard once and you're pretty much done for a couple of weeks. You don't have as many flowers. It doesn't mean do not have any flowers. Go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, and get yourself some nice flowers. Get those pansies to make it look good for your curb appeal, and make sure you bring color. Don't be doing the white because it's going to match, because winter season is typically a gray and white. So get some color, make something pop. Purples and reds are usually very good. That we have. Number 8, many corporations right now actually wait till the Christmas time period to make their moves. That's when they do their hiring. So relocation is very big. Charlotte in our area is very large for relocation. We're one of the financial capitals of the world. So we have a lot of financial people that are moving and shaking and moving people and relocating them during this time period. So relocation is a big time period. So if they're thinking about it, like, hey, could take advantage of some relocation, as well as thinking about furniture that you can keep in your home, because you might have some corporations that might even buy your property so they can house people for their change out when they're when they're relocating and moving people in their own company. Number 9, if you sell during the winter months, which is a seller's market, you can buy in the spring, which could be more set for buyer's market. When all those who delayed selling flood the market with listings, a better selection for you with a sold home gives you a stronger opportunity to negotiate. Let me explain. So if you sell your house, yes, you have to find temporary living, but I'm going to explain that to you here very shortly. So even if you sell your house in December, our closings are what? 30, 60 days? And in January, beginning of February. In our market right now, it's a little bit easier down in Charlotte, is because spring starts to happen in end of February, where you start seeing leaves and the weather starts warming up, and just that energy and the flow and the birds and everybody's getting all excited. You have that opportunity to be able to buy without being contingent. Or if you still haven't sold your home, but you're past the due diligence period, we do know that if you're outside the due diligence, if you're a listing agent and they say, well, I've already had my house under contract, the next question from a listing agent typically is, and should be, when does your due diligence period date end? Because we know that once you're past due diligence, that the house is pretty much, it's a done deal. You're into earnest money. So those things take place where you're not having, like, more money's vested into it. So the chance of the deal falling apart are much less. So getting yourself in a non-contingent position sets you up to have success to even find more homes during the springtime when the market is shifting and the inventory is increasing. One of the things too, we've also noticed, number 10 here I wrote down, is buyers are more emotional during the holidays, which means they're more willing to, they're under the gun a little bit. They got to sell the house. We got to do this. So take advantage of the seller's market once again with lack of inventory, buyers being emotional, as well as you're under the gun on trying to make some decisions, which they are making more decisions emotionally than they would be any other time period of the year, just because of where we are of the holidays, as well as the end of the fiscal year. The other thing that I wrote down here is some people buy before the end of the year because of taxes. Okay. They might have to spend money to be able to make this or to do this purchase because of the taxes. So keep that in mind, that end of the year, fiscal year, people got to get rid of some money. Corporations, relocation companies, some of these investors out there, iBuyers are trying to earn market share going at the end of the year. So you have some opportunities with that. You can still be on the market. And a lot of times people say, well, I might have family in town. Okay. We all have showing time, or you should have some sort of showing company that helps you sell property during the time period of when you're listing. Okay. That's not a problem. Well, Brock, I got company coming from Christmas Eve till like the following week. That's not a problem. All we'll do is limit showings during that time period. We have before, we have after. We can do set time periods, like only in the evenings, maybe only in the afternoons. whatever that might look like. But we can restrict our showings and we can adjust the schedule any way that you want to adjust them. Just don't take advantage of it. Don't not do showings just because you got people in town. People will still look at that home. People will schedule it when it's available. If the home shows really well, they will wait for it. Okay. How many times do we do it for on Black Friday or concerts or something important? What do? We wait for it before we go into the concert. Well, like the new iPhone. God help us all with that. If we have a new iPhone, it's like people are like already pre-ordering. If they like your home, there's no inventory. They will wait for that time period while you're showing it to while you're living there with your family. And then when you're done, guess what? They'll all be there. But at least get it out there and market it. All right. The other cool thing is that if you do have your house sold before the holidays, before Christmas, it's also a nice relaxing feeling. Being able to sit there knowing your house is already sold, you got the price that you wanted, and you're able to negotiate whatever it is that you have in forecast and knowing that it's all done with. It makes your holidays a lot easier and not as stressful knowing either got to gear up or you're already done with it. Which leads me to the last one is you can sell now for more money and then you can negotiate your occupancy. Maybe they want to do a possession after close. Maybe they will. Maybe you want to stay in there while you still close, or the buyer wants to move, or whatever the situation is. You can do buyer possession after close, or you can do seller possession after you close. So there's many things that you can do, and to negotiate, maybe negotiate rent. Maybe you don't have to negotiate rent because you got so many showings that are there, or you have multiple offers where you have a strength on the listing side. Okay. So there's a lot of opportunities that you have to be creative to handle these objections. And those are 13 of them that I've learned through my coach, Glover U, that helped me handle my objections so I can get more listings in December. The other thing is I'm building my inventory. I don't care if my listing sits for the month of December. Okay. Because I know once things open up in January and February, I already have my pipeline being built out. So I know basically in November, I have to start getting listings because in January is when they're going to close out. So if you're thinking and forecasting, November equals January. In December, I'm building my inventory to start my first quarter of February, March. Okay. Set the expectations at the listing table. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I just want to let you know I'm really excited about it. We have an opportunity to sell your home during the holidays, but I want to be very transparent with you that I'm looking to be able to get this thing under contract in January so we can close in February. So you'll be able to take advantage of the market in February and March to see what the inventory looks like. And we're not going to be non-contingent because our house is already under contract. We're past the due diligence and we go from there. Anybody have any questions for me? It's 146, 145 that I have on here. But does anybody have any questions for me on what, how to help you build in the fourth quarter with your now business, how to build your pipeline to the first quarter on what that looks like in dealing with the Thanksgiving pies, the Christmas cards, the New Year's cards, pumpkin carving contest. Sean, yes, sir. I will send you over our holiday handler to you. Thank you for that email. I'll get that to you. Yeah, and if you guys want a list of our holiday handlers, not a problem. I'll get that over to you. Just put your email in here and we'll send it out. But it's a really good opportunity to take advantage of it. You just got to talk to more people. Focus on your Christmas cards. One of the gifts that I do for Christmas cards, some people always ask me, is I get, and my conversion has been very high on this. I learned this 3 years ago. I put in there a lottery ticket, $1 lottery tickets, and I say, Merry Christmas, hope you win, start your year off right, something like that nature. And I typically will get a text message when they get the card, and they will either take a picture of the card, the lottery ticket, or they will tell me whether or not they won. They'll tell me that they lost. Some people are like jokesters. I won $10,000. Thank you so much. I did have somebody win $1,000. It was pretty cool. And then they put it all over Facebook. So I'll buy about 50, 60 of them. I mean, they're only $1, but they're different in how to put yourself out there and separate yourself. So that's my Christmas card gift that I send out to people, because obviously I'm not giving gifts to everybody, but outside my top 10, my VIPs, these people get $1 lottery ticket. So that's something that we put in our cards, and it just makes them remember you instead of the traditional, well, let me put my business card in there. Excuse me. All right. Anybody got anything for me? Any questions? Anybody want anything to add? Any conversation? Let me take a look on Facebook. Anything on here? Okay. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody being on here. Thank you so much for taking time on your afternoon. Hopefully, you were able to get something from this. If you do, please send me a comment so that way I know anything I can improve on. Or if you do have questions you didn't want to ask me right in front of everybody, please, where am I streaming on Facebook? I am on my personal page on Facebook, Brock Zevan, or at least that's what I think I'm doing. I'm not the most tech savvy person. Axon. We record our videos, so if you missed it or if you want to share it with somebody else, Axon, our social media person, he will take care of it, and we will put this up on a video here probably in the next day or two. And then we also put it on the Impact group, and we're working with Craig and Shelly, and they're helping get this out as well. So if it, thanks, Sean, I appreciate it. And yeah, any positive comments, I always appreciate that. Any corrective feedback, I definitely appreciate. And if there's something that I could help you out with, please let us know. We're always growing with our team, with myself, and as well as our organization. So thank you guys so much. Remember, if you want our holiday handler, send me your email. We'll get that out to you. And thanks again for everybody's time here. Enjoy it, and good luck in your fourth quarter. And we will be having our fourth quarter business planning on November 7th. Cassidy's not here. It's a Tuesday. No, it's not. It's November 9th, because I think there was voting that day. But I don't know. You'll see it coming out. So, all right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Appreciate everybody being on here, and talk to you soon. See you.